Hi, my name is Nana. My pronouns are they, he. And I think that my relationship with my queerness is very much intertwined with the research that I did on my ancestor, which was Louis Sullivan. And he was a trans man who lived in San Francisco in the 70s and 80s, I believe. Not entirely certain on the dates, don't quote me, but I read his diaries and I got a chance to look at them in the LGBT archives. And that was really cool. I started journaling a lot more after that. The thing that, one of the most famous quotes of his is that he wasn't allowed to transition because he was a man who liked to have sex with men. And they would not allow him to medically transition because he loved men. And that wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And one of his most famous quotes is that they wouldn't allow me to live as a gay man, but I'm sure gonna die like one because he died of AIDS. But in researching him, I realized that there was so much more to his life. He worked extensively with trans men. A lot of resources were, I think, rightfully dedicated to trans women. But at a certain point, there wasn't a lot of information out there for transgender men. And he wrote a lot to other trans men who were trying to figure out a lot of female to male cross-dressers, and just put out newsletters, and was just a really interesting guy. And he transitioned and detransitioned and had a difficult relationship with that throughout his life. And I think that it was just really cool to have this sort of in-depth study on a trans man who struggled and persevered and loved and had a great, incredible impact. So there's just one more thing that I read his pamphlet on female to male cross-dressing, and I thought that was really cool because he talked a lot about like sexual relationship to clothes and stuff like that, and I thought that was just really interesting, just how men's clothing was like erotic to him and how that was just up front. His relationship with his sexuality, I thought was just a really interesting aspect of his life. So, print that I was going to talk about is called Portrait with Flowers. It's down on the stairs. And I had originally set out on a sort of idea that I had wanted to make a print about transness and not so much celebrating it. I wasn't sure exactly, but I wanted it to be about transness. And then I was like, well, this is something that I struggled with as a visual artist. It's like, how do you represent something visually that is so beyond what you can look at? I just decided to do something kind of small and something very quiet. I'm kind of all over the place. I forgot the questions and didn't look at them until now. So I think that over the past year or two, I don't even know how long it's been going on, I've been thinking a lot about trans youth. I personally started pretending to be a boy on the internet at 13 years old, and came out and started transitioning when I moved to the Bay Area 4 years ago now. So at that time, transness felt like something like very exciting that you could do with your friends in a lot of ways. And, you know, I felt like it was a reclamation of autonomy in a lot of ways. And now that there's been a lot more visibility on trans youth, I can't help but feel a lot of grief for how trans youth have been targeted by laws trying to restrict their ability to access important medical care, something that I wish had been available to me at a younger age. And, you know, it's even difficult for me to explain just how much it has affected me, just seeing how targeted trans youth are now. And to see transness as a reclamation of autonomy, to see trans people and trans youth used as a sort of political football, to see that autonomy denied, to see it used in such a cynical fashion, it's very difficult for me. So I think that it was just very important to me to make a piece about transness that felt like, okay, we're people here who live these full lives full of love and, you know, just a lot more than what I think is even able to put into words, really, so.